Welcome back to West Tea Podcast. I'm your host, Morgan San Diego, and today we are talking about a nurse's situation that is going totally viral on Reddit. This nurse is asking if she is the a-hole for being the reason that her coworker got fired. So let's get into it and sift this tea. So this situation is going viral all over Reddit because a nurse is asking if she is the drama after she refused to cover one of her coworkers' shifts. Now, we're going to get into all the tea and spill it, but I want to know what y'all think. So tell me in the comments if you think that she's right or she's wrong. I, 25-year-old female and home hospice nurse, work for a company that allows our nurses to set up our own hours. We are all salaried and everyone takes turns every 2 weeks being on call overnight, which is non-negotiable for the company. My company has a strict 3-strike policy within a year for call-outs for the on-call shifts, which is a little different as a nurse who used to work in a hospital. If you call out 3 times from the on-call shift, regardless of the reason, you're fired, unless you can get the shift covered. In a traditional outpatient setting or even inpatient, as a nurse or healthcare worker, usually after 3 times, you get written up, and then after 7 times, you get fired. I've worked for years at this company, and I never call out. I always just handle it. I never ask my coworkers for help or to cover my shifts, and I never really get sick, and I've never called out from one of my own call shifts. It's important to note that all of my coworkers have kids. A new coworker, Tiffany, started 4 months ago and already has called out of 2 of her on-call shifts. Her husband is active duty military and she has 4 kids. Tiffany's babysitter called out right before her scheduled on-call shift, and Tiffany sent us all an email asking if someone could cover her shift. No one else answered. I did, and I offered a trade. She'd take my Valentine's Day shift in exchange for this last-minute shift. Tiffany said no. She said that her and her husband already had plans, and he was returning from deployment on Thursday, and they had a really important date planned on Valentine's Day to repair their already struggling marriage. Tiffany asked if she could work a different shift and continue to push the issue, but I stood firm and I said no. Ultimately, Tiffany was fired, even though she begged our boss to let her work something out. And my coworkers see me as the villain because I don't have kids and because I was free. I see so many problems with this, and maybe it's because I don't have kids, so maybe I have a different view. But I feel like in nursing, we are always expected to just make ways, especially for our coworkers that have kids. In this situation, it's not a matter of the person who is the poster making allowance for Tiffany. The company fired her. So why shouldn't the company be more friendly and be accepting of the fact that she has kids? Also, I feel like nobody is obligated to your free time, especially on Valentine's Day. As a person who now is engaged, but before, when it was Valentine's Day, if I was single, there were so many things that I had planned. I had Galentine's Day plans with my girls. I might just want to stay at home and just not do anything. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be at work because it's your free time. And does that mean now that anyone who doesn't have kids, that they don't have any priority or have any preference of what they want to do in their life? Every job is not for every person. Why would you take a job that you know you can only have a certain amount of call outs if you don't have reliable help? So there's plenty of jobs in nursing that you can take that you won't be required to work that many shifts, and you won't be required to only be able to call out 3 times. There's inpatient jobs, there's outpatient jobs, but this person took a job that they knew was not flexible when they didn't have a village. And another thing about the village, you have to pay your village. You don't just get help and get people to help you when you're a mom or when you're a nurse and just not have to pay them. Your husband being on deployment is a choice. He signed up for the military. No one is drafted in. So I feel like it's unfair for the person who made this post to have to necessarily be accommodating to this person who she's not friends with just because she has kids. That's not fair, in my opinion. Also, I feel like we're not talking about the fact that there were options here. No one is saying that Tiffany can't see her husband. She could do Valentine's Day a completely different day. They could have gotten accommodations where they had a nanny maybe downstairs or a babysitter downstairs, and they used upstairs to have the rest of their date. There were so many different options that they could have used to still enjoy and celebrate Valentine's Day. But at that moment, her priority was her kids. And at that same moment, the girl who posted this, her priority was herself. And I don't think it's anything wrong with choosing yourself and prioritizing yourself. Also, if you have 4 kids and you have a job that is that strict, you don't need a babysitter. You need a nanny service. You need a village. You need a community. If you know that your job is that strict, it's not fair that you are constantly putting that on other people. Because I don't know if y'all heard me, but she said that in the span of 4 months, she had already called out twice from the on-call shifts. And I get it. When you're a mom, you can't control your kids being sick, but come on now. If you have a job that is not that flexible, it's not your coworkers' jobs to accommodate you. We're all trying to show up. We don't know what this poster could have had going on in her life with her mental health. And not to say that she needs an excuse, but we all have to be accountable for ourselves. And it's not fair to expect our coworkers to do that for us. And the hardest truth is that Tiffany's kids are not her kids, okay? You're responsible for your own children, so it's not really fair to expect other people to accommodate you for your own kids. The sad thing that I hate about nursing is that we're constantly expected to give and give and give, but we're in a profession where we have to start learning how to take care of ourselves and be accountable for how we allow people to let us feel. So sometimes that's creating boundaries. Sometimes that's saying no when our coworkers ask us to do things that we really don't want to do and we're picking up on a last minute shift. I don't know. I know when I was working bedside and I needed my coworkers to cover my last minute shifts, I was paying them. I said, "Hey, I got $100 for whoever can pick up this shift. I want to go do X, Y, and Z." Because no one is obligated to do your duties and your life for you but you. But I want to hear what you guys think. Tell me in the comments, do you think that Tiffany was wrong or the original poster was wrong? And how do you guys handle stuff like this when it comes up at your jobs? Are you willing to cover and help out when people, especially who have kids, need help in certain accommodations? Or what is your boundary? Because I'm kind of wondering. Anyway, I can't wait to argue with y'all and tussle in the comments. And I'll see you guys for the next episode soon. Make sure you're subscribed. I can't wait to get into the tea with y'all next time.